Well, the Golden State is the gold standard in a lot of things. Rampant crime, homelessness, skyrocketing cost of living, and a governor determined to stick it to the president however he can. They're now also the gold standard in unemployment. California's unemployment rate now the highest in the country at 5.5%. In July, above the national rate of 4.2%. California's tech sector is dealing with one of the toughest markets in years. Companies are getting rid of the jobs they overhired for during COVID, and a growing number of workers are getting replaced by AI. Instead of addressing it, Newsom is blaming Trump's war on affordability and small businesses. John, I'll start with you on this. Is California going to drive the rest of the country into recession? I think this idea that it's AI that's the problem is a canard, and it's probably the policies coming out of the governor that's driving people and companies out of California.
You know, Jerry, I agree with you, but perhaps a little bit of disagreement on AI that's perhaps slowed down hiring, if not resulted in a loss of jobs in tech. But the real problem is too much regulation, and taxes are just too darn high in California. That's what's driving companies out. And it's also the quality of life. My goodness. I mean, you have all of this homelessness in San Francisco and Los Angeles and crime to worry about, influx of illegal aliens. I've had enough of this. So people are leaving. Businesses are leaving. Primarily taxes being way too high. The cost of living's too high. Real estate's too high, in large part because of regulations. Good luck.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with what they're saying. I'm going to go ahead and continue letting it play out.
And I also think another point is Gavin Newsom constantly says we have the fourth largest economy in the world, something like that. You have the fourth largest economy in the world, and you tanked its unemployment on top of everything else you just listed. So that is not an accomplishment of yours. And when we talk about AI, I think California is a really good example because they are the same type of people that are pushing for a rise in the minimum wage. They want $15, $20, $25. We are seeing AI already displace workers now. Imagine the impetus to do that when minimum wage is artificially jacked up to where the market can't actually adjust to that.
Let's go back to that theme a little bit about the Governor Newsom there trying to undermine the president, this whole gerrymandering.
So what's up, everybody? I just wanted to say what's going on. I've been looking for work, which is kind of like odd. It feels weird because like I'm putting in applications and I'm putting like anything and everything. So I have an understanding and experience and knowledge of what it's like, being on the inside, so to speak, because a lot of people say, you get a job and all that. I'm in a situation right now where I'm retired. I'm retired right now. I put in my time and all that. And I thought it was going to be just like, easy breezy, just, hey, I just put in an app, I get one. And it's what's weird is I'm applying for and I'm a veteran. I'm applying for anything and everything. I'm talking about pushing carts. I'm talking about stocking basic stuff, and to be honest, it's not even like where it's getting frustrating. It feels sad, I feel like, I made a point the day, I get the job or whatever's going on. I even went on some interview at Kohl's and they got somebody else, and that's fine, but, when somebody BS's and says, hey, man, maybe it's easier in other states, but, to be honest, maybe certain parts of California, but I'll be honest with you, man, I'm not seeing it. I'm applying literally Dollar Tree, anything I can. I think once it is, I want to keep pushing along because I'm not a quitter. I think once I start kind of getting in, I need to get my feet in there, get something, and then I think I'll be all right. I just gotta get that experience, get my foot in there. You know what I'm saying? But I make a promise, man. I'm not gonna, if I see somebody out, they're struggling or trying to get a job, and I was never like that anyway. I was never that kind of person. But even more so, I'm not gonna be like, hey, man, whatever, dude, just get a job and stuff, man. Because I learned that a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know. They put in, these places put in these jobs. They make it go, through all this stuff because they already know who they're hiring, And what they do is they flip it and then they say, oh, that's not us, that's HR. Like HR does this. And so they kind of take a back seat to stuff. And so there, I think there's some manipulation going on. All these places, they know who they're hiring, but I'm not feeling that I'm entitled. But hey, I'm a veteran. I'm retired. Is it age discrimination? Is what's going on here? Is people, they know who they're hiring, and then they put them in there, but they have to put it on there. It's like by the books. You gotta post something. You gotta put something out there. And so, people out there, if you're trying to get a job, keep plugging along. I'll update you with what's going on. But I feel you. I'm going to say that right now. I feel you straight up.